What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Getting into this episode of GH, I am so happy they got another new set. I'm so happy. Now we're seeing the gatehouse kitchen. The Quartermain gatehouse now has a kitchen. It's beautiful. I like it. It's a nice kitchen. Look big too. Um, that kitchen look big. I like the shit though. I really do. I'm glad they put a kitchen up in there. I'm glad they started to get new sets and we're starting to see more of people homes and stuff. I like it. Um, with that being said, Michael and Willow are starting to exhaust me. They're tiring me out. Like, their whole relationship is starting to get on my nerves. Like, Willow's still salty that he didn't tell her about the Nina situation, him having Nina arrested and stuff. And here's my thing. I get where she's coming from. I get it. If you're a couple, then he should have told her. I get it. They're dating. He should have told her about this before he did it. I get it. But she knew that if he would have told her about it before he actually pulled the trigger, she would have probably tried to talk him out of it. She would have been, like, oh, I don't approve. And she knew that. She knew that's why he didn't tell her. But now she's making this all about her, like, oh, I don't feel like family. Because he didn't tell you? He didn't tell anybody. He didn't tell his mother. He didn't tell his father. He didn't call Jason and text Jason or tell Jason nothing. He didn't tell nobody nothing. This was between him and Sheridan. Sheridan was the only person who knew about it. So if you don't feel like family based off of that, Sonny and Carly must not be family either then. Sonny was just pissed that he had his boo locked up, and Carly was gleeful that he did something about it since she couldn't because Sonny asked her not to. None of them once opened up their mouth and said, oh, I don't feel like family because you didn't tell me. He didn't tell anybody. Like, what are you talking about? You're in good company because nobody knew what he was doing. So calm down. I think she just made this whole situation about her and her feelings. Like, it's not all about you, Willow. This whole thing is not about you. You know what I mean? And I like how Michael broke things down to her and let her know. Like, he apologized to her, but he made it clear, like, due to his past relationships with women, he's a guarded person. You know what I mean? I don't blame him for that. But, she's sitting there talking about, oh, had you would have been honest with me, I would have backed you up. No, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have. Because she's contradicting what she's saying. Because at the end of the day, she had a problem with it from Jump Street when Michael wanted payback on Nina. She been made it clear that she felt Michael shouldn't antagonize Nina. She felt Michael should turn the other cheek and let this whole thing go. That's how she felt. So now she's basically saying, oh, you should have been honest with me. I understand where you're coming from, but you should have been honest and I would have had your back on this. Really? I think she just need to let this go. Like, Michael promised that he would keep her informed of things, but he also made it very clear that if somebody does something to his family, he's going to protect his family. He's not backing down from that. And my thing with Willow is she needs to understand what she's getting herself involved in. Because Michael, like I said, he made it abundantly clear. You mess with him or his family, it's going to be payback. And he's not going to just drop that. He's not going to stop. So she needs to make that decision. Like, what do you want to do? And it was so funny because Michael dropped down on one knee and proposed marriage to her. That's a big hell to the no. Because if she has an issue with things that Michael does or his family does, and they're not even married yet, marriage is not going to fix that. And even she said it herself, they have a breakdown in communication. All these issues they have in their relationship, marriage ain't going to fix none of it. It's just going to make it worse. It's going to make it a lot worse. And this is why I use Olivia and Ned as a perfect example of that. Because Olivia is a lot like Willow in certain cases. She does not approve of everything Ned does. She does not like everything the Quartermains do. And Willow's the same way. She doesn't like what the Corinthos and the Quartermains do and stuff like that. She doesn't like some of the tactics that Michael used. She doesn't like it. So if you don't like it now and he's not willing to change, that means once you get married, you're going to go from not liking it to hating it. You know what I mean? Marriage does not help. They need to fix their problems before they even start talking about marriage. Because all it's going to do is lead y'all to divorce. That's all it's going to do. Fix that. Fix that first. Get that straightened out first and be on the same page before you slip a ring on your finger and say, I do. And waste everybody's time for a dumbass wedding. I'm just saying. I'm just putting that out there. Because I know some people get sick and tired of getting dressed up coming to these weddings just for y'all to get a divorce 6 months later. Like, I would be mad. Like, you got me putting on my good clothes, my Sunday's best, to come watch you walk your ass down the aisle just to get divorced 6 months later. I think not. Like, y'all need to fix these problems ASAP. So anyway, moving on from that, Nikolas, I wanted to slap the shit out of him. I really did. I was hoping Alexis would have reached across that table and gave him an old fashioned slap, like one of them big grandmama slaps. Like, just knock his ass out. I had enough of Nikolas. The nerve of his ass. So basically, Alexis was not playing with him. She was asking him questions about whether or not he hired a hitman to shoot Hayden. And he was like, oh, I'm not going to answer that question. Like, he didn't want to answer it, talking about, oh, I feel insulted that you're asking me this. That's an admission of guilt to me. Because why are you being so defensive and won't answer the question? If you really didn't have anything to do with it, tell her the truth. And he's still sitting there trying to bullshit Alexis. And Alexis was looking at him like, bruh, I did this for a living for many years. Don't bullshit me. I know a lie when I see a lie. And she wasn't buying nothing he was talking. So here go Nikolas. And I understand where Nikolas was coming from at one instance. He was like, Shawn's not a completely innocent person. Which is true. He's not. Shawn has done illegal things. But my whole thing is he should never have been in prison for 6 years for a particular crime he didn't do. Even if he did admit to it. But he didn't do it later on. He figured he didn't do it. And it's still messed up that Nikolas still had him sitting up in prison for something he didn't do. That's still messed up. That man lost 6 years of his life that he can't get back. And what really pissed me off was Nikolas had the audacity to basically threaten Alexis, of all people. He told her that he was working on getting her released. Like, with the governor was thinking about giving her a pardon as a favor to Nikolas. And he said, if you basically keep going with this investigation, I'll leave your ass in this prison to rot. I was appalled that he would threaten her. Alexis, of all people? Him and Alexis have always been close, and Alexis has always had his back. She was always there for Nikolas. And for him to pull that shit, if I was Alexis, y'all know me. If I was Alexis, I would have told his punk ass, you know what? Get up out this motherfucking chair and get out my face. I'd rather sit in here and do my time than sit here and let you think that you're going to threaten me. Because that's something that you would not do. They need to put me on this show because I need to correct some people. I need to correct some folks because you ain't going to threaten me. I will burn your life to the ground. You would never threaten me. Especially not my freedom. And he's sitting there talking about, well, people do have a price. Yeah, people do have a price. And the price of admission would be my foot up your ass. That's the price. Don't you ever come in here threatening me. I looked at Nikolas like he had two heads. I said, did he really just do this? Like, threaten her freedom? Lost his damn mind. He's totally lost it. Oh, I cannot wait for somebody to get proof on him. Nikolas needs a severe beatdown. I can't stand privileged people who act so entitled. Like, it was his privilege that kept him out of prison for the shooting of Hayden. Him, his money, that's what kept him out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm ready for somebody to take Nikolas down a peg or two. Maybe he needs to join his son at Kelly's and bust some tables and see how it feels to be dirt poor. Maybe that's what he needs to do. So anyway, moving on from that. Speaking of Spencer. So they finally let Molly out the kitchen closet. Out the broom closet. I was actually happy that her and Shawn were spending time together and stuff. And, it was nice that he, called her, his daughter-in-law and stuff like that. I like that. I agree with Molly, though. I really feel like Shawn should tell his story. I do. I think how some people be in prison for a while and they get out and they do like a memoir and stuff like that. I think Shawn should. I think he should. And I definitely think he should be a part of prison reform. Like, trying to do that. I think that would be a good, little charity project for him to do. I would love to see Shawn start up a business too. Some type of tech company maybe. Doing something. I think that'd be dope. So anyway, Molly basically was telling Spencer how she had to recuse herself from his case due to their relation. And she actually gave Shawn a bright idea. because when she mentioned that Spencer was basically Nikolas's Achilles heel, that got Shawn to thinking that maybe possibly he could try and use Spencer to get at Nikolas. That might be his ticket into proving Nikolas's guilt. So hopefully he comes up with a plan on that. I hope so. Um, Spencer was getting on my nerves. Like, it was so funny how Jocelyn came in there and saw him busting tables and stuff. And she was like, Trina's supposed to come there and meet her there or whatever. He didn't want Trina coming there because he didn't want Trina to see him working, busting tables. He really acts like that job is so beneath him. Like, bruh, Trina is not like you. She's not all highfalutin like you. You know what I mean? Why would she mock you or laugh at you for busting tables? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I agree with Jocelyn. There's nothing wrong with hard work. Whether that be busting tables, washing cars, washing toilets, it don't matter. Work is work. A buck's a buck. You're making an honest living. That's all that matters. Nobody should be mocking you for that. You know what I mean? You're doing what you have to do. Ain't no shame in that. Shit, we've all had crummy jobs that we did just to make ends meet. It's not something that we wanted to do, but we had to do it. That's what you got to do sometimes in life. You got to do what you want, so that way later on you can do, you have to do what you have to do, so that way you can do what you want to do later. You know what I mean? You got to. Bills got to be paid. They don't stop coming. They sure as hell don't stop coming every month, just like clockwork. Some of them bills be higher than what they were last month too, so you got to work overtime sometime. Like, there's nothing to be ashamed of, and Spencer should be proud, that he's standing on his own too, and he's working to make an honest living, that he doesn't need his father's money or that trust right now. Be proud of yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So anyway, moving on from that, I'm actually happy that TJ and Curtis had that conversation because Curtis assured TJ, he was like, listen, he know that his biological dad is back in his life and stuff like that. And Curtis made it clear. He was like, listen, we ain't got to prove nothing to each other. At the end of the day, they still family and they're going to spend time together. But TJ and Shawn got some time to make up, lost time to make up with each other too. So I think it's good. Curtis is not the jealous kind. He's not jealous that Shawn is in the picture. So, naturally you're going to be spending time with both of them separately and stuff like that. It's cool. And I'm glad they had that conversation. And of course, TJ is still thinking about Marshall, the patient that he had that was asking him all these questions and they were talking and he just disappeared on him. He was wondering about him and stuff because he kept thinking maybe he, scared him off or something. And I'm glad, Portia popped up when she did because she had a run-in with Marshall too, outside of Kelly's. And he was basically asking her about the Savoy, asking her all these questions about Curtis. And she was suspicious, like, why are you so interested in Curtis? You know what I mean? And she told TJ and them about it. Like, dude was asking about Curtis. And I think Curtis need to start looking into this guy, like find out who he is. My guess would be, like I said, I'm thinking he the dad. You know what I mean? Because he's asking a lot of questions about Curtis, which would make me think like, okay, you're his dad that he thought died. You know what I mean? He's asking a whole lot of little questions. And that would arouse anybody's suspicions. Definitely mine. I can't wait for him and Curtis to come face to face and have a conversation, because I can't wait. I think that's going to be a dope scene between him and Curtis when they do finally talk. I think it's going to be interesting, quite interesting. And he was definitely, peeping out Molly and TJ and stuff when they were at Kelly's together. He was looking through the window staring at them. So anyway, I was quite surprised that Nina made bail so fast. I guess Scott's advice was dead on. And this is why he wanted her to go to Pennsylvania and stuff like that, because it would be easier for him to get her out on bail there. So she's just as quick back in Port Charles. And what pissed me off about Ava's little messy self, Ava just continued to be messy. Like, she's sitting there blaming Sonny for her being arrested, talking about how could Sonny allow Michael to have you arrested. I'm like, Ava, Sonny had nothing to do with this. He had no idea that Michael was engineering all of this. And by the time he found out, it was too late to stop it. What could he do? It's like, calm down, Ava. Ava's really trying to poke this bear at this point. Jocelyn, of course, was pissed when she saw Nina, talking about, oh, you have the nerve to show up at my mom's hotel. Calm down, little Carly. First of all, her office is in the hotel, so she has to come there. I'm just saying. Um, so of course, she wants to put her full focus on Crimson, and she was wondering if she still had a job at this point. And of course, Jax was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna fire you." And she was kind of irritated with Jax a little bit because she was like, "You don't have to try to save me." Like, she basically went from the guilty party to the victim. She's really trying to cross over into that victim mode. But I do respect the fact that she's trying to take ownership of her actions and stuff, and she's not running from it. But I do agree. I mean, if it was any other CEO, they definitely would have fired Nina. It ain't like Jax doesn't have just cause to fire her. Because all this media attention she's about to get is not good for business, because you never know. It might slow down, sales of the magazine. It might slow down business for them. So if it affects business, I would definitely look into firing her ass. I'm just saying. At least until she gets this resolved. But I agree. Jax need to stop trying to be the white knight and trying to save her all the time. It's like, let her fall. She did something. She's owning it. Let her do that. Um, I think also the reason Jax is not trying to fire her is because he still got feelings for Nina. He's still trying to chase after her. And I'm like, Jax, that ship has sailed. She don't want you no more. Her sights are definitely set on Sonny. But he made it abundantly clear that Carly wasn't gonna find out about her and Sonny from him. I said, well, shit. At some point, she gonna find out from somebody. Y'all can't keep it secret for long. I'm just saying. So anyway, Sonny was up in there making pancakes or whatever for Avery. I guess it's Halloween in Port Charles. And it's kind of funny because it's Halloween in Port Charles right now, and I ain't see no Halloween decorations put up nowhere. Like, not a one. So of course Ava pops up with the contracts or whatever for the sale of Charlie's and whatnot. And she made mention of the bidding war that he was in with Nina, talking about, oh, you didn't tell Carly about that? I was like, Ava, why are you being so messy? Why are you trying to cause dissension in this man's household? She stayed trying to be messy, causing issues. All up in that man's house. I'm like, she keep poking that bear. I'm telling you, she keep fucking with Sonny. One of these days, he gonna forget who mother you are. And he gonna put that gun to your head. You better stop playing. Stop playing with him. So anyway, Sonny gets a collect call from freaking Cyrus Renault. I said, what the hell does Cyrus want? Of all people. What did he call? To congratulate Sonny from, like, welcoming him back from the dead or something? What the hell did that man want? Hopefully we hear that conversation, because I think that's going to be interesting. So of course Carly pops up at the Metro Court, and look who she ran into. Nina. That's going to be a fun conversation, I'm sure. So anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section, let me know what you guys thought, and I will see you all later. Have a great day. Peace.